3, 2, 1.
I asked you to look this way. You remember that a few weeks ago? I said, look this way. Not this way at me necessarily, but this way. Look this way. If you feel lack and limitation or suffer from some negative perspective on life, look this way. The tool is to turn away from the negative conditions, turn away from the diagnosis, turn away from the hand-me-down DNA rules, possibilities, excuses. Turn away from the so-called experts that do not know you, that put you in some sort of class or group that you do not belong. You know you don't belong there. Or pay little or no attention to the unique you. Turn away from your old stories or poor lessons. Turn away from the religious BS that tells you you're not enough, or born in sin, or other ridiculous ideas, or make up rules that the prophets did not teach. That happens much too much in religion. Turn away from the ideas of fire and brimstone, or that 47 virgins are waiting for you in some sort of afterlife. Turn away from those superstitions, from the hate, from the vitriol, from the violence. Not to ignore them, not to ignore something that happens in your life that is not so positive, not to not take action when you need to, just the opposite. When you do that, when you turn away from the condition so that you can vibrate at the speed of the divine, so that you can ground and center yourself, you'll be able to respond instead of react. You'll be able to respond to the hurt, respond to the pain, respond to the discomfort or hate, instead of reacting. Because usually we react with the same idea. We react with hate. We react with violence. Now, I know sometimes that's hard. This week, because of what happened in Texas, I had to look at that vision statement behind me 100 times to get me calm enough to not react. I'd be sitting there on some social media or in a discussion with people about it, and I just had to keep my mouth shut because I knew I would react and not respond. It saddens me, the excuses that have been said and continue to be said, and the what I consider not much more than minimal response from those who do respond. And this may be a lot to say, but I question many of these people, and I'm talking mostly about the people who could do something about the situation, those in government especially. I question their integrity on both sides, so to speak, as they say, on both sides. I question their Christianity for those who are purporting to be a Christian. Now, I'm not a Christian, but of course, in ministerial school, I spent much time, we all spent much time discovering the ideas of Yeshua. What did Jesus say? What was he purporting? What does the essence of Christianity teaches us, as well as all the other religions, Judaism, Hinduism? What do they teach us? Islam. I question their dedication to the principles when I don't see action, especially from governmental people, legislative people who can take action, change laws. Where's their humanity? But finally, I was able to reattach to this vision, commune with spirit, and get my neutrality, as they say. And not that I was neutral to the incident or neutral to the pain and grief that people were suffering. I wasn't neutral to the anger and dismay at the cowardice of the various governments, agencies, and people. For now, I was looking the way of my vision. I was vibrating at the speed of the divine. Now I was rocking with all the power and presence, love and intelligence and wisdom of the divine. And I could respond. Now, though I don't necessarily have all the answers at the ready to spew from my mouth or compute through my brain or take the best action, I am ready to receive those answers that are in the universe. The infinite possibilities that are there for me to say, to think, to take action, bold action with. Now I am aware and awake and open to receive these answers and contemplate on them, roll them around in my head and my heart and use them for my perfect response, which could change too. It is my vision that I wrote down. The vision I can always return to, the vision that helps center me, ground me, the perspective I have decided I am going to have for my life, my thinking, my actions, my ethics. That is the vision I returned to. And for you, it could be this, a combination of this or something you wrote. Something that is deep in your heart that exemplifies your perspective on life. That's what brought me down. That's what brought me back to center. The written down vision statement reminds me to look at the way of love. And love here is a verb, not just a noun. It's not just a feeling or an emotion. Love is not just for the romantic or familial. Love is a power, a motivator, an instigator, and your best emotional support. The love of life, the living, the love of this time we are in, this place we're in, this planet we exist upon. The love of self as a unique expression of the divine. And the respect of that divine energy that is within you. That kind of love, active love. Love is something we do, not just something we feel. When you envision your vision or re-envision your vision in times of neglect or trauma, you will be what you see inside of you, no matter the difficulties or horrors surrounding you. You will begin to be able to center yourself, to ground yourself, to respond to those things. It doesn't take away your sadness. It doesn't take away your ability to grieve. Do all those things. You need to do those things. But eventually you'll need to come back to the ground, come back to earth, come back to life. Your vision for your life is the most important aspect of your living in this practical 3D world. It outranks your social status, your financial status, your choice of profession or career, your church or synagogue, your religion, your spiritual practice, all of it. It is your North Star. It is your purpose defined. You know, the North Star is the anchor of the northern sky. It's a landmark, like a sky marker, that helps those who follow it determine direction as it glows brightly to guide and lead toward a purposeful destination. Now, before all these instruments showed up, that's how people sailed. That's how people got across the ocean. That's how people got across this country when they first got here. There was that North Star to guide them. Doesn't mean they went north. Maybe they saw the North Star and knew, now this is east, so I can go that way. Or northeast, or just the opposite, southeast, or southwest, wherever they were going. There was that landmark, that sky marker, like your vision. It's a beacon of inspiration. It's a beacon of hope. If you require hope first, your North Star, your vision, is that beacon of hope. It's the guiding principle that defines specific beliefs and eventually behaviors and actions that you have or will have. The North Star is in the sky, yes. It's also known as Polaris. Or is it Polaris? It's unlike any other star in the sky, you know. The North Star is in the same location every night from dusk to dawn. It neither rises nor sets. It's just there waiting for you, just like the divine is waiting for you to step up, to tune in, to turn on that wisdom that is there within you. I don't care what your educational prowess is, that wisdom is there in you, waiting for you to become awake and aware of it and listen. Well, so too, like the North Star, is your vision statement. All is measured by it. All transactions are affected by this perspective that is outlined in your vision statement. Change your perspective, change your life. Change your perspective, change your thoughts, change your beliefs, change your life. Focus on what you want, my friends, not what you don't want. Yes, you don't want, no one wants horrible violence on school children or anyone else for that matter, but what we are required to know, declare, affirm in prayer and action is peace, is safety, is protection, security, kindness, respect, and love for our children, for our fellow personages on this planet. And we do that with how we treat each other. And of course, in this country, we need to enact legislation. We need to enact rules and regulations that support this idea of peace and safety and protection and security and kindness and respect and love for our children and all the inhabitants of our world. But if we don't have that vision or something similar to it for our country and our world, then we won't have that for our children and our world. If we don't fuel our mission, and we're going to talk about mission statements in June, if we don't fuel our mission with a vision of peace and safety and protection and security and kindness and respect and love for our children and all inhabitants of our world, then we won't have that in our lives. We'll have it here and there. You may have it in your community. You may have it in your group of friends. But we need it for the consciousness of the race of humankind. And it must start here in your heart. It's got to start here in your heart before it gets to the brain. And before, definitely, it gets out there. Manifesting peace in our world, peace in our hearts, is the same process as manifesting that new car, that better relationship, that job, that house, whatever. It's a full body experience that starts in mind. Mind is not brain. Brain is part of the mind. But by mind, I mean what I call the divine matrix, which is what's going on in your brain, what's going on in your heart, and what's going on in your gut. They all talk to each other. They all have neurons firing. They all bring intelligence and love and wisdom and imagination and feelings into your life. And that is how you manifest all of these things. That's how we do it. That's how we, if we must, get the courage, get the guts, get the chutzpah to bring the legislation into our lives, to bring the new relationship in our lives, to bring peace of mind into our lives, the perfect doctor into our lives, whatever it is. And if you feel you're there, if you feel you're there in mind, then sit quietly and listen. Because in this universe, in this infinite universe, with infinite possibilities and a loving presence and law that always says yes, yes to the next steps, yes to the next actions. Just listen for them. Why? Because the answers are there. The answers are for you. The answers in the universe are at the ready. Thank you so much. Namaste.